Hey, Bab Pals!
Hi, bad pals.
Hi, Bab Pals. A couple days ago, our podcast, Bus Station Beauties, a supernatural podcast, had our first year anniversary! So,
Woo!
we released our episode on January 18, both in Philippine time and uh,
US,
Eastern.
all the time zones.
US all the time zones. So January
Yeah.
18 is our anniversary, and
Yes, it
to
is.
celebrate, we released some merch, baby. We have some
We did do
merch.
that.
Yeah.
So it is on Redbubble because that is the easiest thing to do. And you can access it at babpod.redbubble.com.
Mhm.
And we have 13 designs, but like about 6 unique designs.
Yeah.
And right, so we've got variations on the logo, which are really cute, and we
Yeah.
have some inside jokes related to the podcast.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite design, Gray?
Oh, my favorite design is Sam in his Carhartt hoodie saying, "It's in every
Yes.
culture, Dean." Because that's literally one of my most favorite, like, inside jokes in the show that, like, Sam literally always
Mm,
says in every culture. Although I
it
would
is.
say, if you're like, if you want, like, a sticker that's a bit more generic, like, like, it can be just a sticker, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can also get the I hate supernatural so much it's unreal.
So real.
It's literally I hate supernatural so much it's unreal.
I
And
literally do hate Supernatural so much, it's unreal.
yeah, I don't even know if we say that in the episodes or we just say
I
that
do
when we
say it
talk
in
to
the
each other.
episode.
We do. That's good. That's good. What about
I
you? What's your
say
favorite?
the
Oh, okay.
timestamps at which I send you. I hate Supernatural so much, it's unreal.
Yeah. Okay, well, is that your favorite?
I think that is my favorite in that it seems the most applicable to all aspects of my life. But
Yeah.
I'm also fond of the Sam I too am in this episode
Yeah.
design because he literally too is in this episode is the thing.
Yeah. He literally too is in this episode. And he's teary eyed. He's so cute.
Yeah, he's miserable.
Yeah.
Love that.
Can you
Right.
talk about the
Uh,
artist just to for a
oh
moment?
yeah, okay, so the artist is cyvvang on Instagram and also Redbubble, and she's the best, and she designed our logo, so it's
Yeah.
like consistent in art style, I guess. So yay!
Yeah, it looks
Love to
Bab
have an established
Pod-ish.
aesthetic.
Yeah, it looks Bab Pod-ish. It's just super fun.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, get some merch if you do
Yeah.
so desire. Honestly, we are not expecting anything.
Any money? Like none
Yeah,
of it?
none. We
Like
just want
Redbubble, you
to.
need to make $25 before you
Oh my
even get a
god.
deposit in your account.
Boo.
And like each product, like you make like probably like a maximum of $3 off of the 20% markup. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna see any money, but like wouldn't you find it so fun to own a shirt that says I hate Supernatural so much it's unreal, or a bath mat with crying Sam on it that you can step on his face? Don't you want that for yourself,
Do
your
you
life, for
not
your
want
joy?
Do you not want a tote bag featuring two people in front of an ampao with a supernatural devil strap symbol up top? It's fun, you
Exactly.
guys. Yeah.
It's fun. And don't worry that like most of the logo versions don't have the name of the podcast on it, so you can wear
Yeah.
it in public.
Yeah, people do not have to know that you listen to a podcast called Bus Station Beauties.
Yeah, they can just see a really good drawing and be like,
Yeah.
"Wow, what a nice drawing."
Yeah, exactly. Also, like, if you want to print this shit by yourself, the merch, I think you can probably do it. If you want to put Sam
Yeah,
Winchester
go
on a
ahead.
shirt, go ahead. And like, I don't
Yeah, like
know.
if Redbubble
Just,
doesn't ship to your country or the shipping fees are ridiculous, just take
yeah.
the PNGs and run.
Yeah. And like,
I think the
just,
full quality versions are on a Tumblr post that we have.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah. And just make sure to send us a picture of you wearing it. I think that would be so cool.
that would
So,
be fun. Do that.
yeah. Maybe a sticker on your laptop of the phrase "I hate Supernatural so much it's unreal," followed by like 5 other stickers from Supernatural. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, enjoy the app.
Yeah, happy anniversary. Hello, my name is Gray,
And my name is Crystal.
and this is Bus the Asian Beauties, a supernatural commentary podcast where I, someone who has seen this show several times.
And I, someone who only knows about the show through social media, discuss every single episode of Supernatural from start to finish. Also, we are both Asian.
Both Asian. For today's episode, we have Season 3, Episode 10, Dream a Little Dream of Me, written by Sarah Gamble and Catherine Humphreys, directed by Steve
So I see that
Boyum.
Sarah Gamble got together with someone new after the Rael breakup finally.
Yeah, but Catherine has been around, right?
Yeah, but I feel like this is the first time Sarah Gamble has partnered with someone
With
who
someone
isn't Rael
else.
Tucker.
Yeah.
Was the result good?
I mean, it's like, as I've said to you earlier, this episode is so corny. Like, there are multiple times in the episode I'm like, ugh. Like, that was my honest reaction to the episode.
I woke up today being like, I have to podcast today, and then I like sat in my bed for like 5 minutes being like, what even happened in this episode? What was this episode? And I went through like the plot of like 309 first, and then I was like, wait, no, it was a different one. There was another one at one point.
I can't believe we're in episode 10. Like,
Yeah, we're so close to him.
we are so close. And yeah. I mean, do you think this is gonna release by December?
I have
This
hope
episode.
in my heart.
I have hope in my
If
heart.
not, Happy New Year, guys.
We are so bad at releasing episodes recently, so if not, Happy New
Yeah,
Year. Everyone.
sorry. Are you mad at us?
Are you mad at us? We are so sorry.
Sorry.
So, I mean, what did you know about this episode? I mean, you probably knew a lot, right?
Well, I didn't know. I knew a lot of these scenes, but I didn't know that they were in this episode. The only scene that I knew was in this episode was Lisa with the picnic basket.
Mm-hmm.
And that she had nice hair.
You didn't know about
but yeah.
the "this is what you're gonna become" scene.
I knew that that was a scene. I did not know what episode it was in, but you know, I knew it had to be in season 3. So yeah, I knew about Demon Dean confronting real Dean. Obviously, I knew about the Sam Bella sex dream. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And what else did I know? I feel like those are the main iconic scenes that I recall.
Yeah.
Hearing about.
We also get some of Bobby's backstory here.
Yeah.
Do you care even an inch about that?
Maybe it's something about the actress for his dead wife, but no.
Well, first of all, I want to say Bobby's actor, not that good. I'm so mean to old men. I'm so sorry, old men. I know we have listeners who are old men. I see our demographic. I see our listenership. And we do
have listeners who would feel hurt that we would that we're calling them old men because they're like 50.
They are 50 to 60-year-old men. And they're listening to our podcast. Like, they're old. Like, first of all,
Please don't shut off the episode and leave us forever. I don't think you're old. I think you're so cool and sexy.
First of all, if you are
they're
50
old.
or 60 years old and you're listening to this podcast, thank you so much. I feel like by that age, you have like a whole life that you've lived, you know?
It's true.
And the fact that you are still using your time to listen to two silly goofballs on the internet. Thank you so much. I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah.
Everyone else, what are you doing here? We are officially only making these podcasts for the 50 to 60-year-old men who listen to us. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Well.
This episode is so horrible already.
Like, I know that there are, like, moments people consider Dean thesis moments in here, but have you considered that Dean has had the same thesis for, like, 20 episodes?
I mean, when he started, like, shouting at himself, I was like, aww. But then he was like, I hate the whole, like, he's so angry. He's angry. He's so angry. Like, I'm tired of it, so I guess it didn't affect me as much. Like, like, the whole idea of Dean beating himself up would be more effective if he also did not beat everyone else up. You know what I mean? But because this is just who he is, this is just what he does, it's like, it's okay.
Yeah. He sees a person with a pulse and he goes for them with his fist swinging.
Yeah. So we get our dance sequence. And it's like super obvious already who's gonna be here. So like we have Bella, we have Lisa. And then that's it. Bobby's also in the dance sequence, right?
And
But like,
Ruby.
does it matter? What?
Oh,
And
Ruby's
Ruby!
also there, but just for the scene where it's like, yeah, I can't actually save you from hell, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So we start at this like house and Bobby's getting attacked to an inch of his life. And he's like, I think like he's getting beat up or something. I didn't pay much attention.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to me.
Editing is atrocious here.
The editing is atrocious here, and also for the rest of the episode. There are moments where I was like, okay, I can see why, but why? You know what I mean? Like, I can see the thought process that led to this, but I wish I didn't. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but also, I guess it's like, we've seen AMVs during the time, and I think they were just like, it's the coolest thing to make everything color graded so weird to show that there are different scenes and to do confusing flashes all the time. Like, I think that was just the style of the era, perhaps. But then Supernatural never changes.
No, but you're right. It might be the style of the era. Yeah, and then Bobby like wakes up and you think he's in a hospital bed because of how he's positioned, but he's not. He's in a motel room. And then this lady who is Asian.
She's Asian! Yeah!
Yeah!
Let's go!
Woo! So this Asian lady, we will always point out the Asian people in this podcast. But
yes.
So this lady comes in and she's a cleaning lady, and like she sees Bobby and she's like, oops, sorry, my bad, I didn't know you were still here. Then she goes back out, but then she's like, why is the man not waking up? So she goes to Bobby and starts like waking him up. And then there's like a part where she like shakes him a little bit vigorously. And then it cuts back and forth to the scene that is still happening in Bobby's head where he's getting attacked. And it ends with like her screaming, "Help, help," while shaking Bobby. And all I can think of is like,
so panicked. Like, you don't know him. Like, whatever.
first of all, like, won't you assume that someone is dead? And like, if someone is dead in your motel room, I don't think I'll be like, "Oh my god, there's a dead person," or "There's a dead." I think I would be like, "Another day at the motel."
Literally. Like, when she's yelling, she's like, "Wake up, do you hear me?" Like, she's a love interest and not just someone who he does not know and who does not know him. And okay, I get it. Like, you were hired as an extra on Supernatural and you want to put your whole pussy into acting. I understand that and I respect that. But also, why do you care?
When you care. I mean, there was this TV show when I was younger. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's like in Filipino TV, right? And like one of the plot line is like she shook the baby a little too hard and the baby died.
So real.
And every time, like, when she was shaking Bobby, I was like, "You're gonna kill him. He's a little baby that's gonna die if you shake him too hard."
He's only 600 months old.
Exactly.
We got to a bar where Sam is there looking like the saddest, wettest little guy. And Dean comes in. Oh, also I had friends in the room during this time, so this was the first time we saw Sam properly, and he said Sam's a 7 out of 10 and Dean's a 4.5 out of 10. This is not relevant to anything.
First of all, I keep saying that, but like, whatever of all. Sam looks so good this episode.
He does look so good this episode.
He looks so good. I feel like he is slowly building muscle. Like, he is training for the war or whatever the fuck he's doing. But he's building so much muscle. He's so hunky. And I know we complained in the past that like early Sam should be lanky, but like this is the perfect moment for Sam to transition from lanky dude.
Yeah, no, just to transition.
To transition period. And
Yeah,
the testosterone is making him build muscle. Exactly.
Yeah. Happy for him. So Dean shows up and is like, "It's 2 in the afternoon, why are you drinking whiskey?" And so I was like, "Well, I actually drink whiskey all the time because I'm cool. And also, like, who cares, because you get sloppy in bars and hit on chicks all the time, so why can't I?" Okay, Dean says that there are slim pickings in the bar and specifically looks at a woman there. And the transcript says that she's a lot older than Sam, but I didn't actually notice that. I was just like, he's calling her ugly? That's so mean.
I didn't even notice that he was looking at someone. Like, I'll be perfectly honest. I just finished my job thing when I was watching this, and I was doing my like corrections for my student at the same time while I was watching Supernatural.
So correct of you.
So I was like not paying attention for a first half, but like I knew what was happening. I didn't know though that he was looking at an older lady, as the transcript said.
She looked like 30 to me, but maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So
quite a bit older.
Yeah.
I wonder if these transcripts are like just the opinion of the transcriber.
I mean, probably everything is
Yeah,
just
but
the
like
opinion of the transcriber.
no, but like there are some episodes with like drafts and shit, right?
Oh, right.
The
So you're
production
saying
sides, something.
that this might be the script note
Yeah.
that the woman's older than Sam.
Yeah. Maybe Sarah Gamble wrote that.
Yeah. Or Catherine Humphris. We don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
What if the whole time her name's pronounced Catherine, but they just spelled it weird and we've been calling her Catherine?
Well, sorry,
Well, too bad. I'm
Catherine
gonna
or
keep doing
Catherine.
it. Yeah. Um, so Sam's all sad and he's saying, like, I tried to save you. And I couldn't, so now I'm getting drunk. So, yeah, Dean sits down next to him and Sam is talking about how sad he is that Dean's gonna go to hell and he's gonna become a demon. And he
Which
says, I'm
means
starting to
that
think
Dean told
maybe.
him.
Yes, but Dean did not tell him about the part where Ruby said that she can't help him because Sam says, I'm starting to think maybe even Ruby can't stop it. So yeah, interesting of Dean to
Yeah. He was like,
keep
I'm gonna
that.
become a demon. For sure. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep the fact that it's for sure from you.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense. Like, he wants some emotional support about how he's gonna become a demon, but he doesn't want Sam to be in the throes of complete agony.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be better to have hope? Don't you think? Or do you not think that?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you had hope, you would be spending all your time trying to save him instead of just hanging out, which might be more fun.
Yeah, but like, if you don't, all the hanging out would be depressing as all hell.
That's true.
Huh? All hell. So funny.
Teehee.
I'm the funniest person alive.
It's true, you are. So. So Sam says, like, no, like, I mean that no one can save you because you don't want to be saved. You don't think you deserve to be saved! I miss Cass, I miss him so much, please. Okay.
Yeah. I know
So,
you
yes.
hate Mitski Supernatural AMVs. Or do you? Or do you just hate specific ones?
I hate Deans. I don't like them in general, but I hate the Dean ones.
Oh, but I have one that I like, and it's the nobody
That's
one.
okay.
And it's season
That's
3
okay.
for season 3. Why are you saying that's okay? Why are you comforting me? I mean,
Well, it's a really difficult thing to admit to, a really embarrassing thing to feel. So I just want you to know that this is a safe place, and I will never make you feel bad about your awful taste in anime.
you're so mean to the person that I'm complimenting.
No, you're right.
That-
Someone did make it. Sorry, person who made it. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I haven't seen it, so I'm just making fun of it with no actual knowledge of what the content is.
Yeah. I mean, it's like nobody, right? Like no one will save me. I'm just asking for a kiss, and it's like season 3 Dean. And then like I remember reading the caption and it's saying like season 3, and I was like, so no Cass? But like which is my reaction to everything.
Yeah, of course.
But towards the end of the AMV, you know how like the song lulls down to like nobody, nobody, just over and over again. And it's like Cass's entrance. So it's like
Oh.
no, there is somebody though. It's like the message of the AMV. And it makes me feel so emo. And like
Yeah.
that's my share. Also like I mean, who knows when we'll publish this episode, but recently I've been seeing the fireworks Sam Winchester AMV a lot.
Oh, yeah, okay, I do like that one.
I love that one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
have no further comment. That AMV is fucking fantastic. Everyone go watch it.
So, yeah, Sam goes,
Wait,
how can you
I
care?
was
What?
I was like,
What?
fireworks AMV, but I did not clarify that it's fireworks by Mitski. So now I'm imagining do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Someone just really.
Oh,
It should have happened. Somebody make it
yeah.
happen. Because
It
maybe
might
you're a
exist.
firework. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, we have the scene where Dean and
They're
like, the baby
exploding
Finn were watching the
fireworks, yeah.
fireworks. Yeah. So Sam goes, "How can you care so little about yourself?" Sam was not paying attention in his psych classes in college, even though he was a psych major in our minds. And before Dean can reply, he gets a call about something. So they go to the thing.
So it's Bobby. He's comatose, and the doctor is telling Sam and Dean that like he's comatose, but they can't
Yeah.
figure out anything wrong with him. So they can't test for anything more than they've already tested for. They can't treat for anything because they don't know what's wrong with him. And Sam and
Yeah.
Dean are stumped. So they go to Bobby's, the last place Bobby was found in.
Wait, I want to
And-
discuss how Dean is Bobby's emergency contact for a second.
Aww.
Yeah,
What if
did
he's
that
dead
not make
now?
you
I
go,
mean-
oh? What?
I mean, is it material? Who's your emergency
it's
contact?
both. Okay, Rufus.
Parents, right?
Where's Rufus? That's my first thought. Where's Rufus?
Well, I mean, isn't
Are they
Rufus and
estranged
Bobby
at
like
this
in a
point?
bad
Because-
relationship right now?
Yes, because Bobby was semi-responsible for Rufus's daughter's death. That's true. Yeah, I wonder who it was before Dean. I guess. Do you
I mean,
think
his
it was
wife.
Rufus before Dean? Do you think it was?
It was his
John
wife.
before Dean?
Well,
Okay,
I
yeah.
think it was his wife, and then
His
it was
wife
maybe
died when
Rufus.
Dean was a child.
Maybe
so it's not like he
Ellen.
went from his wife to Dean. Okay, yeah.
Maybe Ellen.
But Ellen's still alive and kicking. Why would he change it from Ellen to Dean?
I mean, for plot development. What else?
I know, but if we're taking a Watsonian approach, I want to explore the history of Bobby's emergency contact. Like, I
Well-
don't think it would be John because John is not reliable. So
I think like it's a situation of every phone he has a different emergency contact.
Oh yeah, okay.
So like
Do they go into your
maybe-
phone for that? Isn't there like a I thought there was like you filled out a form for the hospital about it.
he's fucking comatose. How is he gonna fill out a form?
No, like you put it down on like an official
On, like, a
piece of
database?
paper. Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was
like with
just
your
like
insurance or something.
I mean in your phone,
they
right?
don't-
Like there's an
they don't
emergency
they don't
contact.
go into your phone. It's
No,
like
they don't
actual
have to. They just have
paperwork.
to swipe right. I mean, we probably have just very different ideas of what an emergency contact is. Because me, an emergency contact is who's on my phone. Like, there's no
Oh,
paperwork, no
yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
Okay, I think there's paperwork in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and there is really only one that can be. Well, I think you can put down a few, maybe, but they might have tried earlier numbers and they didn't pick up.
Yeah. I mean, okay. There is some sort of like emergency contact situation in the Philippines, but it's more like if this ID is lost, you call this number kind of situation,
Okay.
you know? So it's not,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess it was Rufus and then it was his wife and then Rufus and then I don't how old was Dean when the Rufus Bobby falling out happened?
I mean, probably not that old, because Dean didn't know Rufus.
Yeah. Well,
He didn't
I
even
don't
know
know.
Rufus. Come on.
Maybe it was actually fucking John before it was Dean. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, Bobby has other connections.
That's true. He does have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he like goes like every time he has to fill out a form of like what's your emergency contact, he like does a roulette and he's like okay, it
Yeah.
landed on Dean this time and now it's Dean.
Now it's Dean.
So they go to Bobby's motel room and they're trying to find what he's hiding, blah blah blah. And Dean found inside his cabinet like newspaper clippings and stuff. And yeah, I mean, they saw an obituary of like this guy who died while doing dream or like sleep research. So they were like, okay, Bobby was investigating this, so we need to investigate it too. So they go over to that place where the doctor's office is.
So Dean's interviewing Dr. Greg, who's the Dr. Greg's lab assistant, and Dr. Greg is the guy who died. And she seems quite on edge. We hear that she talked about all this with another detective who she described as a very nice older man with a beard. Yeah. Aw. It's
I don't
nice
think
to know that Bobby's, like, nice on his interrogations and Sam and Dean are, like, staring into people's eyes being like, did they see a ghost?
Does he have a beard?
Yeah, a bit.
No, I don't
He's not
understand his beard
clean-shaven.
situation. Yeah, perhaps. But I mean, I've seen Bobby do the FBI stuff. And he like combs his hair and shit. So like good for him.
Yeah. Good for him. And she says that she's busy and she doesn't want to talk about it. And then she starts going to like, I promise I didn't know about his experiments, the sleeping ones, no one knew, okay? And I spoke with a lawyer and I can't be held liable for anything. So, like, does this imply that the experiments were unethical?
Yeah, but maybe it's just like because they imply that African dream root, which is like the crux of the experiment, right?
Right.
It's like I don't know, like it's not scientifically blah blah blah. So maybe there's like some
Okay.
issue with that. But I don't think that would be unethical. It would be like a waste of
Yeah.
grant money, but I don't think it would be unethical. Maybe like I mean it's implied that like he had one test subject and that test subject ended up abusing the drug. So like
Yeah,
maybe
so
that?
maybe he didn't take enough precautions or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean starts threatening her with this going on her permanent record unless she gives all the research over to him.
He's so iconic.
He's such a loser.
He is, but this scene was so fucking funny to me. Like he was like literally just talking as vaguely as possible.
Yeah,
Being
he was
so
like, well, there's new evidence that comes out that's gonna
I am not
land
liable to
your
say,
ass in
like
jail, so you should give me the research.
yeah. So we go to the house of this one guy named Jeremy, and it's just Dean. I mean, it was also just Dean last time, right?
Yeah, wait, where's Sam?
Yeah. They
Like,
literally
he's not.
put him in a bank vault.
Yeah, where is Sam? Just at a bar again? Because all he does this entire episode is be at the bar at the beginning and then just get beat up a bunch of times later.
He was
What's he
crucified.
doing now? Is he
Yeah.
just standing in the hallway of the motel and random people are punching him? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah. But Jeremy says like, look, I don't know what the RA said, but I was growing ferns, which like the implication is that he was growing weed. I love that.
Yeah.
I know this guy
Yeah,
turns out to be
okay,
evil,
so
but good for him.
RA. This man is supposedly a college student, and this is supposedly a dorm, right?
Yeah, it's too. I don't know what to say
He
about
looks
dorm.
way
It's
too
like,
old for that.
first of all, yeah, that's true.
Mm,
I mean, what is the obligation? Like, for example, you enter college older. Do you still have to
right.
do the whole first year's live in campus?
I don't know.
Yeah. That's such a
I
weird thing,
think
too. Like,
so.
first
I think it's
year's live
required
on
for all first
campus
years.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they need that room and board money.
Money. Is that.
Mm.
Are you being for real? Like, that's the reason. It's not like
I don't
we
think
need
that's
to
the only
teach.
reason, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that it's not a reason.
It's such a weird thing because, like, when I was looking up US universities, when I was looking up unis, like, I was like,
Hmm.
this is such a weird rule that you have
Right.
to live there. What if you live,
Yeah.
like, a couple of, like, a couple minutes away? What's the deal?
Not allowed
But,
jail.
yeah. But, yeah, he was growing ferns. Good for him.
Hmm. Good for him.
And Dean is like, okay, it's fine. Take it easy. I'm not here for that. And he starts asking about Dr. Greg's sleep study. And this guy is one of the test subjects. And the moment Dean says that, like Dr. Greg study, the guy offers him some beer.
Yeah.
And uh, he gets the beer. Dean gets the beer. And this is gonna be relevant.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
love that this is relevant. Like because it's such an in character thing to do and like the character that they were presenting as this guy is like of course he's gonna offer Dean beer. Like he was growing
Hmm.
weed in his bathroom or something. But like it's like
Right.
an effortless insert into the story. But it proved to be relevant.
Mm.
And yeah. And what he reveals is that he used to be unable to dream because he was hit. Well, he didn't say he was hit. He said he was on a bike accident when he was young and he didn't
Mm.
have a dream ever until the study because the doctor gave him this like tea that made him pass out and have super vivid, super intense dreams. Yeah. And like
Yeah.
he says like it's like a bad acid trip and Dina goes like, yeah, totally. And then
Yeah, I
he like
totally get what
remembers
you
that
mean.
he's like an FBI agent. He goes, no, 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 no. Like I don't actually get it.
I've
Like
never
totally
done
not.
acid.
Totally not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did Dean
And
do
then
acid?
I feel like he's not the type of guy. Like I feel like between Sam
Oh,
and Dean, Sam would do the acid.
yeah. He'd be like, it really helps me connect with my chakras, Dean. Or whatever.
Is that what people say when they do acid? I've never done acid. What's acid like? Is it like the paper?
I haven't done acid. Um, it's a hallucinogen, I
I
think.
know, but like it's like it on a paper strip, right? Like that's the vessel it's
Oh.
in.
Huh. I
I
have
have no
no
idea.
clue what it looks like.
Yeah, no idea.
Sorry that you're
Sorry,
all listening
everyone.
to a podcast by Squares.
Look, yeah, I am a square. I am a prude. I am like every like conservative thing you can think about. Except I am also fucking transgender, so like who even
Yeah,
knows? Yeah.
this is
And
true. And I don't know. I'm just boring.
Jeremy was like, yeah, I dropped out of the study after because I was scared. And that's pretty much the entire conversation.
Yeah, he was scared. So,
Squad.
squad. So we go back to the hospital. And Sam and Dean are by Bobby's bed. So, okay, maybe Sam stayed behind to just sit by Bobby's
Look
bed.
after
the whole time.
Bobby?
Yeah,
Well, that's sweet.
That's sweet. Yeah.
I mean, what is the hospital etiquette in the United States?
Yeah, there's a lot of only family allowed inside, and then, like, there's, like, visiting hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. Visiting hours? What's the deal? So, like, you're allowed to stay after visiting hours if you're family?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Although it's the same.
It's a
Yeah.
weird rule. People don't like it. I don't like it. But I guess it's to avoid overcrowding the room if they need to, like, do stuff.
You know what's funny? Like, because I
What?
got confined a lot when I was a kid.
Right.
And we had a health card, and the health card is a very fancy hospital. So like that was like staying at the hospital is like staying at a fucking hotel. That's how we treated it. Because like I got
Yeah.
sick often, so I was in the hospital often, and every time I was like, this is amazing. We have cable. Like I was always
Yeah.
amazed. And it was the only time in my life when I could watch Disney. So, like,
Yeah.
all of my experiences with Disney is in the hospital. And everybody in the house would, like, sleep in the hospital because it was that
Yeah.
fancy. So that's super fun. And there's, like, a couch that's, like, pull out, you know? And, like, my
Yeah.
mom would sleep beside me on the bed. Which I don't think that's good because, like, as you said, like, what if I wake up in the middle of the night going into like a shock or whatever, and they have to
Yeah.
treat me, and my mom is literally lying next to
Yeah,
me?
they have to shove your mother off of the bed.
Yeah, but like I loved being confined as a child. Like
Yeah.
I got to watch whatever I wanted. It was air conditioned all the time. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Congrats on getting sick so much.
Thank you.
To many more.
No, we don't have the same card anymore. If I get
Damn.
confined, it's bad. It's bad.
It's a bad hospital. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, so Sam's been doing some readings of the research. And so he says that the plant being used in the research is known as African dream root. He says it's been used by shaman and medicine men for centuries. So the plural of shaman, shaman, is shamans, but he says shaman like he thinks that shamen is the plural of shaman, which I think is fucking hilarious. You know, snowman, shaman.
Wait.
Yeah, and then Dean
That's so funny.
says,
That's so
what?
funny. That's so funny. I was screaming so loud and our Zoom call was not picking it up because I was screaming so loud, but I thought that was so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 days since I watched this episode, and Shaman has become a meme in my, like, in-person at college friend group. Like, it's that funny to me. And to all of my in-person friends right now.
Oh, it's so
God
funny.
bless. Yeah, so then Dean says a line. He says, "Let me guess, they dose up, bust out the didgeridoos, and start kicking around the hacky." So, okay, so African dream root is Okay, so didgeridoos. That's for like Aboriginal Australians. African dream root from Africa, as you can tell from the name.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's regarded by the Xhosa people as a sacred plant, and it is used for like vivid dreams, potentially prophetic dreams, and lucid dreams during the initiation process of shamans. Is what Wikipedia said. It's a very short
Of
Wikipedia
shaman.
article, so I don't know if I could trust it. But every other site that I find when looking this up is all like new age, like Etsy nonsense. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna go with that. Right, and didgeridoos, yeah, Aboriginal Australian, um, used in indigenous Australian music, and it's used recreationally and also to accompany ceremonial dancing. So Dean's being racist, as you may have guessed. He's so fucking annoying. I like what I
Yeah.
guess he's just equating all cultures that he views as like I don't know, like I don't know what he's doing. I
He
think
took the term every culture that Sam uses all the time to another level. That's what he's doing.
yeah, yeah. Um so yeah, he's being racist. So Sam says it according to the legends, it's used for dream walking. So you enter someone else's dreams and you poke around in their heads. I don't think that's true according to Wikipedia. I think that prophetic lucid dreams are different from entering other people's dreams, but you know, whatever.
They invent their own lore. Yeah.
They invent their own lore. Right. And dream walking is a thing that comes up later in Supernatural in a way that
Yeah.
appropriates
African dream
like
root and like dream walking comes up a lot because of Kaya,
yeah,
which
right.
is,
And
that's a
yeah.
whole, what's the term? Can of worms? Bag of worms? Can of worms.
I think it's a can of
That's a
worms.
whole, yeah, it's a whole thing. Which I think we'll just talk about when we get there, which is
Yeah.
in a while. Yeah. That's season
Yeah,
13, right?
yeah, she's in season 13.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Sam says that this thing is so powerful, you can control anything, you can turn bad dreams good or good dreams bad. Did you have a lucid dreaming phase when you were a child?
No.
Like a phase when you really... Okay, I had a phase when I really wanted to learn how to lucid dream. I think I'd read a book called, like, Every Soul a Star by Wendy Mass, and one of the characters could lucid dream, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I looked up all these techniques to do it, and I could never do it, because, as we've mentioned, I'm just boring.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, when you go on... I mean, I don't even remember the medications I was in. But, like, if you go on psychiatric medication, your dreams really go fucking apeshit. I mean, have you experienced this? No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, antidepressants, antipsychotics, your dreams really become something else. Like, I used to be obsessed with recording my dreams. And then I started...
used to have a dream journal app, yeah.
Yeah. I had a dream journal, like, actual notebook. And...
Oh, fancy.
And then I know. And then I started taking medication for my mental health problems. And
yeah.
I stopped because it was too much. Like, every night I would have, like, a dream that was so long and so vivid, it was actually exhausting. Like, I wake up exhausted because my dream was like an entire movie. But
Yeah.
I think that like only lasts for like a couple of months after you start. Like, after a while it faded out for me, even though I'm still on the medication. And it's like,
That's nice.
Yeah, my dreams right now are always like so fucking funny. Like one time I woke up because I crying. I woke up crying because I dreamt that
Yeah.
I was Miles Edgeworth and that Shilong Lang broke up with me. So, yeah. I mean, that's equivalent to
You
lucid
could not
dreaming.
pay
I
me
feel
to
like
admit that on air. I'm
crying. I woke up crying. It was something else. So,
Yeah. Yeah, the last stream I had, there was a website that got put up where you could put anyone's name in. You could see their Spotify history, and I got outed to my parents because they saw I'd listened to lesbian makeout playlists 10 times in the past week. So,
I
yeah.
love dreaming so much.
Yeah. And so does the antagonist of this episode. So, yeah, so Sam theorizes that the doctor was testing the dream route on his patient, and somebody got mad at him and then went and killed him in a dream. And then they're like, well, how come Bobby is still alive if the killer's trying to kill him? And we cut to Bobby's dream.
And
Where-
he's screaming, crying, moaning, throwing up.
Throwing up.
Yeah. I mean, it's still your turn, right?
Yeah.
I just interrupted you. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so he's doing all those things, but he's still in the hospital bed. And Sam and Dean are discussing how they can find who the killer is. And Dean says, I don't know how many subjects he had or who all of them were, even though he has the files. So this guy was
Yeah.
taking, like, the worst notes. I guess he didn't have his lab assistant with him, so I guess that's why.
Yeah.
And Sam goes, you know, in most cases, like, this is the time when we would call Bobby. Oh god, I just remembered the line from The Man Who Would Be King where Dean says this is around the time we would call Cass. Anyway! So,
Yeah.
yeah. So Dean goes, oh my god, that's a great idea. Let's go talk to Bobby by taking some of the dream route and then going inside his head. And Sam is not sure about this because he thinks this would be a bad situation, and Dean goes, dude, it's Bobby, which is sweet. And Sam
Yeah.
goes, yeah, okay. And Sam also says, well,
You know what
we
the
don't-
dude It's
Yeah.
Bobby reminded me?
It's Cass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We literally need to meet him ASAP. We're just thinking about him all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Literally because it's Cass. Ah!
It's Cass.
Sorry, Bobby. Sorry that we are contributing your contributions to the show to Cass. And we will do
Yeah.
it again.
And we will do it again. So, Sam says that they're out of African Dream Route, and Dean goes, ah, fucking shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to call Bella to ask for it. Alright,
Yeah.
fine. So, oh my god, you get to do this scene.
Yeah.
Have fun!
So, Sam is, in the room. He's doing research when suddenly somebody doorbells and knocks, I guess. They're in a motel room. Somebody knocks and he opens the door and he's like, ugh. Like, that's his reaction upon opening. Because it's Bella. And
she's wearing a trench coat, just like Cass.
She's wearing a trench coat, and then she's like, Sam is like, oh, I didn't know you'd show up, and he's like annoyed. Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I'm full of surprises, but you know why I'm here? And then she takes off her trench coat and she's wearing lingerie. And Sam is like looking away, kinda. Like, he's like trying to be polite and also like a little bit ashamed. And she starts walking towards him. And he's like, um, okay. Like, he's like super ashamed. And Bella is like, I'm here because of you. And she goes like, I can't stop thinking about you. And then Sam was like, what? What? And then they kiss. And yeah, Sam goes, are you sure? Which I thought was so sweet. He was like, are you sure?
Kind of sweet.
And then it cuts to them in bed. And Sam is literally eating her out. Slay!
So true.
Slay. He's got pussy breath.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then
Yeah.
Sam, he starts hearing a voice going, wake up, wake up. Oh, by the way, Bella, like, we know he's eating her out because we can't see him. And Bella is just going, Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just did that. That is my recreation of modes. It reminds me of that
Anyone
post
who
that's
found
like,
our podcast through a search that didn't have supernatural in it is like, finally, I've been waiting 50 episodes.
This one reminds me of like, you know, those like bottoms make some noise. And then the next comment is like moaning noises, and then the next comment is like, never mind. That's how I feel about the noises I just made right now.
So
Literally,
true.
never mind. Anyway, Dean is calling Sam, and he's saying, wake up, wake up. And then Sam wakes up, and he's like wiping his face, and he's like, oh my god. And Dean asks, what were you dreaming about? You were like making some very happy noises. So, and so I was like, what? I wasn't dreaming. And Dean was like, come on, you can tell me like Angelina Jolie. And Sam goes, no. And Dean goes, Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt?
Bisexual rights.
By Sam Wright.
And Sam goes like, what? No, it doesn't matter. And Dean's like, whatever. I called Bella. And Sam's like, and he's like Sam is fully bricked up in this moment. Like, I need you guys to understand. Like, it's like they show it. I mean, they don't show it, but like he's like looking down and he's like arranging himself in his seat. And it's such a funny scene, especially what comes next, which is that. So Sam's like, oh, Bella, what? Did she answer? And Dean is like, no, she didn't. And then suddenly somebody knocks. And it's Bella. And she's wearing a black trench coat this time. Like, she enters, she hands the dream root, and it's a whole thing. And Sam is in the background
she takes
going
off
like
her coat.
Yeah.
And Sam's like going like but she's wearing regular clothes underneath.
Yeah, like he like almost stands from his chair. He's like, and then when he realized that she's wearing a shirt underneath, he's like, oh, okay, we're good. But like he keeps on trying to be like, oh, Bella, what's going on? How are you?
Hi, I'm
so
normal.
stupid.
I feel normal things.
I'm so normal.
What was the point of this scene? Like, it's hilarious, but what was the point?
I mean, a part of me is like, I mean, of course they need to, like, I mean, Bella is becoming a person in this show.
Right, so gotta backtrack.
Yeah, like, a part of me is like, are they backtracking from making her more than just, like, a love interest? Are they trying to make her a love interest? Like, obviously not. Because if they're trying to make her a love interest, it should have been with Dean, you know?
Right.
And it would probably, like, maybe, like, the juxtaposition of, like, oh, maybe she has a thing going on with Dean. but it's Sam who's having this absolutely hilarious experience. Like maybe that I think that
Maybe.
maybe that's what they're doing, and I think it's effective.
Mm.
Yeah, Dean asked like, "Why did you bring us the dream route? I thought you didn't, and you wouldn't." And she said, "Oh, you said it was for Bobby Singer, and I owe him something. He saved my life in Flagstaff." And yeah, Sam and Dean are like, "Huh, what is this girl hiding?" But she's like, "Well, I fucked up and he saved my life, okay?" And she wants to participate in the dream route escapade. However, Sam and
Mm.
Dean are like, "No, you're not doing that." So, yeah, Bella is like, "It's 2 a.m. Where am I supposed to go?" And Dean was like, "I mean, get a room. Like, there's magic fingers in Casa Erotica. You'll be fine." And Sam, of course, is like, uh. Like, for a second, I was like, is Sam gonna invite her to stay? That would be absolutely, like, that would be kind of fucking funny.
It
And,
would.
like, yeah, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
And anyway, she's like, oh, by the way, like, at this point, like, Dean opens the safe. Like, we see him
Mm.
open a safe and put the dream root in there. And there's also the colt in the safe. And Bella sees all this, which
Yep.
is gonna be important.
Good for
And
her.
good for her. And then Bella finally leaves and Sam's like, "Bye Bella. Nice to see you. Nice to see you." He's so important to me.
Yeah,
He's
he
such a
is so
fucking weirdo.
important.
Yeah.
Ugh, love this loser. So, we cut to a little bit later, and Sam has prepared 2 cups of tea with the dream root. Uh, and Dean makes another, like, I think tripping on acid joke, where he says we should dim the lights and sync up Wizard of Oz to Dark Side of the Moon. And when Sam's like, huh? Dean goes, what did you do during college? Ugh,
I
Sam's
mean,
just like me
isn't this
for
like a
real.
weed thing? This is a
Oh
weed
yeah,
thing,
a
right?
weed thing, probably. Yeah. So, Dean takes out an, or who? No, Sam takes out an envelope and puts hairs in their cups. So apparently you need a body part from the person in order to enter their dream. So here's Bobby's hair. And Dean goes, well, I guess that's better than other parts of the body. And they drink, and it feels like nothing has changed. And then they hear that it is raining outside, and when they look outside, the rain is moving up. And now they're in the house that Bobby was dreaming about. And Dean says that Bobby is dreaming about better homes and gardens, which I guess he just means that the interior design of this place is nice.
I mean,
Is
I
it?
think it's sarcastic.
Right.
I
Okay.
think it's sarcastic, yeah.
Yeah. And then Sam realizes, like, hey, like, this is literally Bobby's house, just, like, without all the books and the clutter from before. And,
Which impresses me. Because
yeah.
we know what happened in this house. We find out later.
Yeah,
The
and he
fact that
stayed.
he still lives there. I mean, real estate, not that bad in 2007.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, he also has the scrapyard, though, right?
ah, yeah. And it's just behind the house. Yeah, I can see why that is.
Yeah. So we have Sam says that he's gonna go look outside, and Dean decides to stay inside.
Yeah. As Sam moves outside, it turns into a very colorful thing, reminiscent of
Yeah.
like season 8, which is such a funny
Mm.
thing to say. Reminiscent of season 3 episode is reminiscent of a season 8 episode. But like you know what I mean. It's like super
Yeah,
saturated.
it's sort of like the coloring and changing channels in the opening sitcom sequence, title sequence
Yeah,
thingy.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
also the rest of like season 14. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
also just late season Supernatural.
Yeah. And as he's walking around, um I don't know, like he sees like he tries to peek inside the house and Dean is still there, so he continues walking. Also, he gets locked out, so he can't enter the house anymore. And he's just walking and walking around. Meanwhile, Dean is inside and he's shouting. Like, it's so funny to me
Yeah.
because literally Dean is like, there's plot. He's going through things. Things are happening to him. And Sam is like, I'm outside. Literally, that's the plot of this segment of the episode. So like
Yep.
like I need you to remember the entire time Sam is just outside. He is literally just
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, they
And
took him
Dean
to a
is
farm where all the happy little dogs run around freely, and you'll never see him again, but I promise he's alive.
exactly. So what happens is Dean like finds Bobby and Bobby is like
Yeah.
he has
Oh,
like a
also,
scar on his
You said
face.
Dean's been yelling. Dean's been yelling, Bobby, the way he yells Sammy or whatever. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Sammy, Bobby. But yeah, Bobby is in there. And he's like, "How did you find
He's in the
me?" And
closet.
yeah. And he has this very ugly scar on the side of his face. And I say ugly because it looks fake as hell.
Mm.
Like
It's a little
like
scratch.
yeah, it's a little scratch and when Sam and Dean get scratched, it's like wow,
Hot.
hot. Why did Suba? We're so mean to old men yet again. Sorry, old man. But yeah, I mean, I get that scratches look like that. Like sometimes scratches in real life really do look cartoonish. But
Mm.
like, come on. Yeah. So he doesn't recognize what the fuck Dean is saying about the dream route and everything. He thinks this is real. And what happens is there's like a lady that comes in and she's bloody and Bobby is
She's
like
wearing a
this
white
this
nightgown.
yeah, oh my god, she's wearing a white nightgown. And Bobby is like pointing at her and going, "Doesn't she look real?" And he's trying to go away and Dean goes, "Who is that?" And Bobby doesn't even say her name. He just says, "That's my wife." Which like
My
I don't like
wife.
that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like
Right. Do we ever get a name for her?
I think her name's Karen.
Mm.
But like I don't think we get a name right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't say like that's Karen. That's my wife. Like he just says that's my wife. And I
Mm.
like we've talked about like how supernatural kind of reduces women to their roles in the
Yeah.
life of the men. And like
Mm-hmm.
this is not egregious because it's like that's just what happens when you're introducing someone. You know, you introduce them by what they are to you, your relationship. But
Mm.
like um it's just like a pet peeve of mine. So like let me
Yeah.
get on my soapbox about this. Like I don't
Yes.
like it when people do that, when people are like talking about someone and instead of saying like unless you're trying to hide their anonymity or something, hide
Mm-hmm.
their anonymity. You're trying to make them anonymous, hide their
Yeah.
identity. Like just say their name. Is this bad? I mean, is
Huh?
this like
No, I
something?
think you're right. No, I think my wife Karen is, yeah, it would be a lot better than that's my wife.
That's my wife. I mean, like the whole try guys thing and like the whole like wife guys who end up being like, why did you just whisper try guys to yourself? Like, do you not
No,
know what
I
I'm talking
know
about?
what the drama is, but I wasn't sure about how it was relevant.
No, like he's a very my wife guy, but like
Yeah.
like I feel like there is a connection between like people who only refer to their significant others as specifically just my significant other,
Mm,
even though they don't have to,
right.
and like people who are kind of shit. So
Mm.
I honestly I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let's just proceed. But
No,
yeah,
I
she's
mean,
my wife.
I get it being annoying in this episode where the three main women are Lisa Fantasy, Bella, who spends about as much time in a sex dream as she does in real life, and then Bobby's wife, Karen. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, like because of Supernatural's history, it's like something you notice and you're like, they're doing it
Mm,
again. And like, yeah, it's less egregious this time, but like it reminds you of the times where it's more egregious.
right. And she's literally in a white
Yeah.
nightgown, you guys.
She's literally in a white nightgown. Oh, yeah.
We see in the motel, Sam and Dean are still sleepy time. And
I wish that was me for real.
and yeah, Sam is literally just outside. It's just he's just in a beautiful meadow with flowers and shit. Meanwhile, Karen's going like, Bobby, why did you do this to me? Like you stabbed me with a knife again and again and you watched me die. How could you? And Bobby's crying and he says you were possessed and I didn't know how to save you back then. And Karen goes like, well, no, you wanted me dead. If you'd loved me, you would have found a way. So yeah. Okay, so possessed, like, by a ghost?
I think
Because
by a
the...
demon.
Wait, stabbing her wouldn't have... Well, I guess it would have... Can't demons pilot dead vessels? Can they not?
They can. But like Bobby doesn't know that. We're assuming.
Okay, so are we thinking that he killed her and then the demon kept piloting her dead body until what?
Until I don't know. I mean, there's
Why
probably
was the
more to
demon
this,
even
right?
after him? Like, yeah.
This is like an interesting backstory, and I would be disappointed if they were like, let's just drop it completely. Or maybe they should have. I don't know.
Yeah, like, what was the demon doing there? What's the deal? Oh, well, I guess we'll never
They
know.
were like, Bobby is gonna be a very good member of the hunter community, and we need to get him in there somehow. So,
Yeah.
just
Bobby
possess
basically
his wife.
says
It's
that,
fine.
right? He's like, well, you have to enter hunting somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam sees Jeremy from earlier with a baseball bat, and Sam is screaming and crying for help. And halfway through, he realizes that it's more about killing him than it ever was protecting himself. Do you know what song I'm referencing?
Absolutely not.
It's Father by the Front Bottoms. I feel like a
The
lot of people have made.
front bottom.
I know it's not a good band, but the song is pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, Sam's getting beat up. Sorry, dude. Um, and Jeremy's like, you don't belong here. Your friend came after me and wanted to hurt me. Sam's like, well, yeah, because you kill people? And Jeremy says, you should be nicer to me. In here, you're just an insect. I'm a god.
I love that
God,
this guy is like
fucking unbearable.
this guy's like a caricature of a bad person.
I know. College guys are
Like,
just like this, though. Have you
what
considered
made
that
him
college
so
guys are just like
like
this?
I get that he has trauma and that he has, he talks about like not dreaming is like not sleeping at all.
Which I
Which
don't think is true.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to not have the capability to dream. So, like,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe they based this on something. But, like,
It's
is that
supernatural, but
enough?
maybe.
Is that enough to become, like, this kind of person? Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? But, ugh, he's so funny.
So,
So
so it's still you.
so Dean's trying to tell Bobby, like, this is a nightmare, this is your dream, and you can wake up. So yeah, Dean tells Bobby, like, you have to snap out of this now. I am not going to let you die. You're like a father to me. Aww. And that works. Bobby goes like, oh shit, I'm dreaming. And then he imagines Karen gone. And she is
And
gone.
she disappears. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dean tells Bobby, well, now you have to wake up. So Jeremy's just about to kill Sam with a baseball bat, but mid-swing, they all wake up.
Yeah. Anyway, they're now in the hospital and Bobby's still in the hospital bed. And they're like putting all the papers on the table and they're saying like, Bobby, is the stuff with your wife real? And Bobby's like, yeah. Everybody got into hunting somehow. Yeah. But
Mm.
Sam comes in and he's like, the guy is not in his storm anymore. And what happened is like this guy is like, you know, he's like super intelligent, which is not, I don't know how that's relevant, but they say it.
Yeah, they're like,
160
his
IQ.
IQ is 160. Like, who would give a single shit? Oh, also we learned that his dad beat him up with a baseball bat.
Yeah. Anyway, the father is like, they gave this like so much information on the dad. And I was like, why? And I mean, I was like, during watching the episode, I was like, oh my god, why are they giving so much information? I bet this is gonna be relevant. And then it wasn't, and I was like, why were they giving so much information? It was not relevant.
It
But
was
yeah,
a
we
tiny
learned
bit
that the
relevant.
father we learned that the father is 5'11", which I love. Literally
I mean, they have to
5'11",
make a
right?
fake driver's license, and that's all information that has to be on there. But yeah, it is weird that all of it was in focus.
Yeah, I mean, what we needed to see was his face, because he's gonna show
Yeah.
up later, and we need to be able to recognize that, oh, that's the father. By the way, which I didn't, I was like, who is this random guy? So I love that. Yeah, and he died before Jeremy was 10, and he, like, gave him the injury,
Yeah.
which made him unable to dream.
Yeah, and also the specific thing is called Charcot-Wilbrand syndrome, which I guess
Ah.
is a thing, but very rare.
I thought that was, honestly, when he said
What?
that, I thought he said like he gave him an injury a la Sharko Wilbrand. And I thought
Oh,
Sharko
no.
Wilbrand was just a guy who like batted people in there. What is
So
happening?
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah. Um they were like how I mean, doesn't he need like a part of your DNA to get into your head? And Bobby was like, it was such a stupid thing. He offered me some beer and I drank it. And he was like, I don't think it's
it's
that
not stupid.
stupid. It's not stupid. What are you talking about? And Sam was like, oh, damn it, Dean, did you fucking drink the beer? And he was like, yeah, he offered it to me. And
Yeah.
Bobby says like we better work fast and like drink a fuck ton of coffee because you can't fucking sleep.
Mm. Yep. So we cut to 2 days later, and Dean's driving.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this man's brain? Ugh. And Sam offers, he's like, are you sure that you don't want me to drive because you have not slept for 2 days? And Dean's like, no, I'm fine, shut up. I fear for Sam's life, I fear for
And
Dean's
like
life.
I feel the thing is like when during the scene he's like super angry, super pissed. And so
Yeah,
later when he's like super angry and super pissed at his dream self, it loses
yeah.
its effect. I wish
Mm,
his sleepiness was portrayed in any other way other than he's cranky, you know?
mm, yeah.
Because I feel like it detracts from scenes later. Like
Mm-hmm.
was literally when he was beating himself up, I was like, he just needs some sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God. So, Dean is angry. He's
Yeah.
all he's so angry. And he calls Bobby and tells Bobby that he looked for the guy at the strip club and Jeremy was not there. Um Bobby's also angry. And Bella is using her spirit board to try to ask some ghosts where Jeremy is, but she says that she can't get anything. And he goes, great, well, I'm just gonna go blow my brains out now.
Go, Dean. Go, Dean.
Go, Dean.
We're so mean. We're so fucking
Yeah,
mean.
no, okay, we do not encourage suicide. However, I do think that I don't like Dean unfiltered most of the time. That line was kind of fun. That is how I
Yeah.
talk, so. Um. So Bobby asks Bella, hey, why are you helping us? And Bella goes like, Bobby, like, you don't remember? Like, at Flagstaff? And we find out later she's just totally trying to plant a fake memory in his head. I love it when women lie. Uh, and Bobby's like, sure. So, yeah, Dean pulls over and he's like, okay, I'm going to sleep. Because we cannot find Jeremy, so he should come to us. And Sam goes, well, you're not gonna face him alone. So he grabs some of Dean's hair. And Dean goes, I don't want you digging around inside my head, so don't. And Sam goes, meh, too bad. And then they both drink the tea and go to sleep.
Yeah.
I love how they set this up for, like, Sam's gonna learn things about Dean, and then they just they just, like, lock Sam outside and then beat him up for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Sam wakes up, Dean wakes up, and they go out and they come across this garden with a picnic happening. And the person doing the picnic is Lisa. And all
Yes.
the while, Dream a Little Dream of Me is playing.
Also, like, it looks so, like, there's a spotlight that, like, opens, like, over her little patch of grass.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
it
he's
looks awful.
angelic, is what's happening.
Like,
Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, and Lisa's like, "Oh, come on. We need to pick Ben up in an hour for from baseball." And Dean is like looks at Sam like, "I've never had this dream before." And then Lisa goes, "I love you." Ah! Ah!
ew.
Ew. And then
Ew.
Dean is like, "Don't look at me like that." And suddenly, like, the lights disappear, the sound disappears, and Jeremy is there. And yeah, like they start running, but they get separated, and Dean ends up in this like little room
Mm.
where he is there. Like there
Yeah.
like he is like, how would I
Another
describe this
him.
scene? Like another dean is like sitting over at a desk and he's like turning a motel lamp on and off. And it's actually pretty
Yeah.
creepy. Like when this was
Yeah.
happening, I was like, ooh, intrigue. And then
Yeah.
Dean turns around. Dean like asks if it's Jeremy, but other Dean turns around and it's other Dean.
He.
And Dean is trying to be funny. He's like, "Oh, look at you. You're so handsome. Look at you." And other Dean is like, "Oh, Dean, we need to talk." And they start circling each other like prey, like animals. And Dean goes, "Oh, I get it. I'm my own worst nightmare. Yeah, mano a mano with myself, huh?" And like, here's the thing.
Mm.
If you're gonna do something corny,
Yeah.
would you rather acknowledge it or not?
I think that lampshading is a way for writers to feel better about themselves.
Yeah, but I don't
So
feel better.
I feel like
And the most
I have the type
important
of
person here is
personality.
me.
I have the type of personality where I would lampshade and be like, and that shows that I'm smart, and every time you criticize me, I already know, so get over it. But yeah, I recognize it's not actually a good writing trait to have.
Yeah. I mean, where are we? I'm so sorry. I enjoy recording these podcasts. However, I am so sleepy. Like, sometimes you're just sleepy, you know?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to dream a little dream. I don't even want to finish that. Anyway.
So other Dean is like, "I know you're being a smartass, but you can't lie to me. I know how dead you are, how worthless you feel. I know
Like,
you
didn't
look
we
at the
get
mirror
this
and
from
hate what
every
you
demon
see."
ever in every single episode ever? Like, who give a shit at this point?
Yeah, I think the only part here that I truly give a shit about is like what comes next.
Mm.
So, okay, let's just go through the scene and I'll speak about it when it's there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Dean is like, oh, you can't, you're not real. You know, if I snap my fingers, you're just gonna disappear. And then he snaps his fingers and he doesn't disappear.
Teehee.
Ooh.
So Sam thinks that he is awake, and he thinks that Dean is there next to him, so he tries to wake Dean up, but it's Jeremy, and then Jeremy hits him with a baseball bat.
Why is this so funny? I'm sorry you're getting hurt, Sam Winchester. But have you considered the comedic value?
Yeah, I just think that baseball bats are a very fun weapon. Like, if there's no spikes on them, then it's just funny. If there's spikes, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. So, uh, so they have a little bit of a talk that means nothing. Jeremy says that the doctor got him hooked on the dream root and then took it away. So, he killed the doctor in order to get more? Can't you just steal? Is it that hard?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's way too much work to, like, kill someone.
Yeah, it really is. Jeremy's
Yeah.
motivations this episode are super, like, not well defined or well written.
Yeah, he's just an evil guy.
He's just a guy, and he wants to be evil.
And I
So-
love how they never even brought up once the whole, like, he's human. Like, none of that this episode.
It's
Literally,
true.
they do not give a shit.
So he says that, like, you're not able to dream for 15 years, so it's basically like you're awake the whole time. I don't know how sleep science works. That doesn't seem right, but who even knows? So, apparently this has made him go crazy, as Sam puts it. And he tells Sam to leave him alone. Sam says no. And then Jerry ties Sam to railroad spikes. And decides
He's
to
crucified.
Yeah, he's crucified. It's a good pose for Sam to be in. Sam should always be crucified. And Jeremy's like, you and your brother aren't gonna wake up this time. Oh, yeah. Love it.
Love it. So, back in Dean and other Dean. Yeah. Other Dean is like, you're going to hell and you don't even want to save yourself. Talk about low self-esteem. But I guess there's not much of a life worth saving, is there? And he goes like, you're nothing and you're an attack dog. What are the things you want even? What are the things you dream? I mean, your car, your jacket, your music, all of it is dad's. Do you even have an original thought? And he says like, all of your thoughts are just save Sammy, watch out for Sammy. And it's just your dad's voice. And it makes me so sad, the idea that the voice of a person in your head is anyone else other than yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a sad idea, especially I guess if it's like a parent who you don't particularly have a good relationship with.
Right. Yeah, it's
Because
okay to
like
have another voice sometimes, like for encouragement or something. Like if you're at an intermediate place where you can't give yourself confidence, sure. But like if the voice is a parent and it's just saying you're not good enough, well, F to that, I guess.
yeah, like in this context, it sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Especially because like Dean believes the things he will say later. And
Mm.
yet, these are still the thoughts in his head. You know, like, uh, yeah, it makes. Why are you humming? What's happening? Are you having I miss you? I hate you so much. You will do
By Blink
everything to bring
182.
that song up into the podcast. No, no, no. You got it all wrong. Not by Blink 182, but
What
by
is it?
5 Seconds of Summer.
Right, the cover by 5 Seconds of Summer. I'm sorry. The
Yeah.
best
This is one of
version of
those.
it.
Yeah, it literally is the best version of it, and I would fight anyone who says otherwise. I love how we're just not explaining this. What even is there to explain?
Well, yeah, this is a song, and one of the lines is "Don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head." And you kept saying the phrase "voice inside his head," so yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
and
end of the
also I love
explanation.
this song. I love this song. And we've talked about it several times in the podcast already, I think, how much I love this song, which is
Mm.
so funny to me. It has become a brand. Yeah.
Yeep.
And did you say yep? What's
I said
happening?
yeep. It's like yep, but
Yep.
for cool kids.
Is it really? Is that the new college slang in the United States?
No, but it will be once I talk to one person besides my sweet mates.
That's wonderful. I'll be sure to propagate it in my own university here in the
Thank
Philippines.
you.
And other dean keeps on talking. All John did was train you, boss you around, and he doted on Sam, but he never loved. He fucking hated you. You're just a soldier. Daddy's a blunt little instrument.
I I'm obsessed with how they wrote this line, and they were like, "This is so good. We need to bring it up in every single season." And it's literally the worst phrase in the entire world.
I mean, they didn't bring it up in every single season. They just brought it up in the very last one.
Yes. And it was
In,
hilarious. Every time I watch
and
the
in,
confession scene, I start bursting into laughter at that line. I laugh through
you
most
know
of the
what?
confession, but that's where it really gets me laughing. What?
The confession scene, it's like it didn't even happen anymore in my head. I don't know how
Huh.
to describe it, but like I feel so disconnected from the end of Supernatural already that I am
Right.
afraid that when we get there during this podcast, I
You
will be
won't care.
emotionally distraught all over again.
Oh.
Because
Huh.
I like I'm afraid I will go through the motions of it again. And if you fucking
Yeah.
saw me going through the motions of it, it was bad. So like I'm worried. But
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a funny
Right. You
scene.
had a, what was it, like a 3 month depression over Dean Winchester's death?
I wouldn't
Or,
say it was a 3 month depression. I would say it's a 3 month spiral that ended in depression.
yeah,
It
okay.
was volatile. It was like
I
I
see.
was happy, I was sad, I wasn't eating, but it was because of joy and then being upset. It was such a weird and complicated time of my life, which I'm sure like most people who were into Supernatural then could relate. What a
Mm.
weird time. Like it was like a shared experience. You know, like the period
Mm.
between the confession and the end of Supernatural, like
Yeah.
many of us were like, I can't eat, I can't sleep,
Yeah.
which is like, it's wild.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway, Dean finally Oh yeah. Other Dean says, "Your own father didn't care whether you lived or died. Why should you?" And then Dean, our Dean, goes, "Son of a bitch," which is how you know he's our Dean. And he pushes Dream Dean, and he's super angry, and he was like, "My father was an obsessed bastard." And yeah, I mean, he wasn't there for Sam. I always was. I didn't deserve what he put on me, and I don't deserve to go to hell. And he's like, before that, he says, like, all the crap he dumped on me, that was his crap. He's the one who couldn't protect his family. He wasn't there for Sam, blah, blah, blah.
He
And yeah, I
also
don't
blames
deserve to
him
go
for
to
Mary's
hell.
death, which is weird.
I don't know. Like, what he's saying is, like,
Like, slay, I
it's
guess.
John's guilt. It's...
Yeah.
What he's saying is it's John's guilt. And, like, John decided that it's gonna become Dean's guilt as well. Like, he's not
Yeah.
saying that it's Dad's fault. He's saying that Dad thinks it's Dad's fault. Why am I calling him
Okay.
Dad? But, like, you know what I
Dean
mean.
Kenny. Yeah.
Ugh, you cannot pay me to admit that. Yeah, he
Alright,
shoots
yeah.
Dream Dean, and it's a whole thing. Dean, like, approaches other Dean, and as he goes inside, other Dean, like, wakes up, and his eyes are completely black. And he
Oh,
goes,
yeah.
"You can't escape me, Dean. You're gonna die. And this is what you're gonna become." It's like a very famous scene.
Yeah. And he's right about both things, but there's 6 seasons between his 2 sentences.
6 seasons?
Oh, because Dean does become a demon in season 10, but he
Oh.
dies in season 4.
I was like,
well, I guess he also dies
becomes-
before becoming a demon in season 10, so...
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, like, this is what you're gonna become? A bad person? I mean, he becomes that, like, a little bit
Yeah.
earlier, right? I was like,
That happened earlier.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
And meanwhile, in the Jeremy Sam world, so Jerry's just kicking Sam and hitting him in the legs with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm a god here. You can't stop me." And it's like, dude,
If I was a god, I would have a better, funner way to kill people than kick them and hit them with
I
a
would
baseball
be
bat.
a more ruthless and egregious god than Jeremy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Jeremy does not deserve to be God, but I do. So. So, yeah, he's like, "I'm invincible because of the dream root." And Sam's like, "Well, you forgot that I also took it." And then he summons Jeremy's abusive dad. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny.
They never were like, maybe this is a bad thing. Like, never
They were
in the episode.
never like, maybe this happening right after Dean calling his father an obsessed bastard. They were never like, maybe there are parallels here or something we should consider. They were just like, no, this guy sucks and his dad was mean. Yeah.
I'm sure the parallels were intentional. But, like, it's just absolutely hilarious that it's portrayed like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's almost comical the way that his abusive dad shows up and he's like, "Jeremy, I'm mad at you." And Jeremy goes, "Oh no!" And then he starts running or something.
yeah.
Jeez. Jeremy, like, Sam starts hitting Jeremy and then Jeremy fucking dies.
They literally killed his
with not killing humans. Like, they do not
You
care
cannot.
anymore.
They do not give a shit. They do not give a shit. Yeah.
And the boys, they wake up. They're awake now. The end of that scene. Okay. Oh, next.
I mean, so Bobby and Sam are walking down a hallway, and it's like, Bobby is like, so what happened? And Sam explains, and Bobby is like, so are you sure it's like the dream route and not your thing? Psychic stuff?
How you like
And
you and guys, you sort of like, touching men. How you're gay is it's not about that.
It's so funny. Wait, I'm gonna read my post that I made after this. Supernatural really is like now replace psychic with gay. Not so funny, isn't it? And I stand with that post 100%. Literally
Yes.
replace psychic with gay. It's not so funny now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Tom's like, no, I mean, I don't think so. And yeah, they enter the hotel room, and Dean is like, where's Bella? I mean, she's not answering her phone. She must have taken off. And it's a little weird. And Bobby's like, it's weird to me why she helped us in the first place. And Dean is like, I thought you saved her life in Flagstaff. And Bobby said, like, oh, that was an amulet. I gave her a good deal. That's all. And Bobby, like, in realization goes, oh, check your pockets. She must have taken something. And they literally check their pockets. And Bobby is like, you stupid fucks. Not literally. Like, check what you have. And then they realize that the colt is gone from the vault.
Yeah.
She stole the colt. And Dean calls her bitch.
Yeah, he's learned
We're gonna
nothing.
hunt that bitch down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like, they know how to make demon killing bullets. Do they need the Colt for that?
I think
Can't
so.
they just
Yeah,
put
they
those
do.
in any gun? Okay, so
No, they need
it's
the
not
Colt.
just the bullets. Like
It's
what?
the Colt.
What? It's the Colt. Well, but they needed the bullets too.
Yeah. But it's
how
also
does
the Colt.
How does the Colt work?
It's like, I mean, it's like a lock and key, I feel. Or no, that's not an appropriate thing. It's like a Gatorade pod. You need the
What?
bottle and you need the pods. There's a thing going on like YouTube Shorts, which is my TikTok because I don't have TikTok. I just watch
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts. So there's like this new Gatorade product. Sounds like a promotion, but I hate this thing. It's like it's like a ready-made bottle, right?
If Gatorade wants
By
to sponsor
Gatorade.
us, though, I won't hate it. I love Gatorade pod.
And it's like you buy the bottle and it's like $27 or like $25, and you buy the little pods and you fill up the bottle with water, and then you pop the pod in on top so that it disperses the Gatorade concentrate onto the water,
Okay.
and then you throw the pod away. So it's like a waste of plastic, I feel like. And
Yeah.
also, like, it's just so fucking expensive, and for what? And the bottle is ugly too. Those are my complaints. And yeah, and I mean, people are into it, and like for that one, you need the pod to use the bottle, but also you need the bottle to use the pod, and I feel like that's what's happening with the cold.
Great. Love it.
Yeah.
Alright. We have the ending scene where Sam and Dean are heading out, and Dean asks what Sam saw in his head. And Sam's like, oh, like, literally nothing. It was just Jeremy beating me up. No, I mean,
And
he
he's
did
being
say the
for
Lisa
real.
thing.
It's so true, though. I mean, he's
Yeah.
hiding the Lisa thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, he is hiding the Lisa thing. And yeah, I think that does matter a bit. I feel like his wish at the end of Swan's song for Dean to, like, go and live a normal life, like, maybe with Lisa, was probably based off of that. Because he sort of
Yeah.
has a look of realization when he sees that. I feel like he isn't really fully aware of how much Dean doesn't want to hunt before this, or maybe is
Yeah.
he aware? He is sort of aware, because Dean always has his I'm tired of hunting and I want to die thing. But, yeah, I guess Sam didn't realize that Dean had something else that he wanted to do instead. Yeah, so they get in the car, and Dean says, hey, Sam, I've been doing some thinking, and the thing is, I don't want to die, and I don't want to go to hell. And Sam, goes like, okay, then we'll find a way to save you. And Dean goes, okay, good. And it's sweet. And I wish they ended the fucking episode there instead.
The weirdest editing choice ever. They were like, let's end this episode with the demon Dean, other Dean, who goes, this is you're gonna die and this is what you're gonna become, which is what they do.
Yeah, but then what happens is, in that part, Dean, okay, also this is black and white, which is so fucking ugly. It's disgusting. Yeah, but after this, Dean snaps his fingers, and his eyes are black, and then the screen goes black. So, okay.
What?
What?
I
What?
didn't see this. What are you talking about?
Okay, so I looked up a little bit about the writer's strike, and it didn't happen until they'd already written episode 12. So this isn't like, oh, we've realized that we can't end on hope here because we've realized that he is gonna go to hell, so let's quickly add this back in. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is this, because they could have just reused old footage and then, like, put this part in. But it's still a bad editing choice. Like, so what if people have hope? That's, like, the point
That's
of,
the
like,
point.
suspense
Hope
and
is
shit.
the whole point.
It literally
Yeah. So, yeah. What did we think about this episode? I mean, it's truly an episode.
is. Yeah. It sure is. Yeah, I mean, sure, there's some Dean thesis moments that I could care about if I cared, but since I don't care, I don't.
I mean, I don't care that much, but like, it's an enjoyable episode to talk about and find. Although not so much to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's funny that they put Sam in another bank vault. Especially because Sarah Gamble likes Sam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was this part of Sarah Gamble's sick fantasies? Remember how there was some interview where it was like she wanted Sam to like have a thing with a guy in a season, and Eric Kripke was like, we're not gonna peddle to your sick fantasies, Sarah Gamble.
Oh.
I mean, maybe for her it was a sick fantasy, but like, yikes. So, that was 40 minutes of TV.
Yeah. And 2 hours of commentary.
Jesus.
What's our best line, worst line?
Aww.
I think I don't have a best line or a worst line. I mean, I like the I was growing ferns. I mean, I should probably choose a better best line. I should probably choose a better best line. Wait. Um, let's see. I mean, I like that Dean, but like it's so cliche. Like the whole like
Yeah, you're like a father to
I
me.
don't deserve to. No, I
Oh, that
don't
one.
deserve to go to hell. Like it's like okay, we've seen it,
Okay.
we enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I liked when Dean said Bobby was like a father to him, even though I feel like we haven't seen enough of their relationship to justify that yet, because I know where it's gonna go. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my worst line is "You're just an insect. I'm a god," because it's so stupid given everything else that happens in the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. But God CL can do that and then fall flat on his face in mud, and I'll be like, so true.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I guess, I don't know, my worst line is, I don't know, the didgeridoo one, I guess. That was fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm. What's our What's this?
Our
No, no, no.
spreadsheet.
Yeah, our spreadsheet.
Uh,
Homophobia,
I
not much.
no homophobia. I'd say one on racism. And then
Misogyny. Here we
misogyny.
go.
There's definitely some.
I want to give this a 2, but I'm willing to bump it down to 1. I just think
Yeah.
like their only portrayal of women being like almost like all fantastical and like
Mhm.
you know, like there's women here, but are there really women here?
Right.
Like Bella was an actual person, but
Yes.
like, and I love her character and I love what they're doing with her,
Mhm.
but like, as you said, like she has equivalent screen time, so
Yeah.
like her dream self has equivalent screen time to her
Mhm.
actual self. So like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I think a 2 works. We gave The
Okay,
Kids Are Alright a 2, and I feel like it's similar levels of misogyny.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, IMDb. I
People are
mean,
gonna think this was
this is
stupid, right?
no. I think people are gonna like this.
Because of the Dean talking to himself thing.
Yeah.
Ugh, boo.
I mean, I'll probably give this an 8.5 just to hedge my bets.
Okay. I am gonna go for an 8.4.
Okay, let's see. Oh, you're right.
Oh? Oh, am I? Well, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
8.4.
Okay, what are the people saying?
I mean, everything is positive, so I don't want to read any of them.
Oh, come
I'm
on. Not
only
even
a
a
hater.
little bit of no complaints
There's
at
one
all?
that's like 7 over 10.
Okay. That's something.
Bella is
Um,
irritating. I know.
Boo!
The naiveness of the brothers with the tricky Bella is irritating. I didn't read the entire sentence.
Okay.
I mean, they're stupid. What can you do?
Yeah, they're stupid. Also, the last time she helped them was during Fresh Blood, and that was, like, without strings attached. I mean, she felt
Yeah.
bad, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only
Yeah.
negative
For some
review.
reason, I really can't imagine a Sam Bella affair. It just doesn't seem right. A Dean Bella affair is more logical, though he will probably kill her since she made a fool of him for like the millionth time. Alright.
I mean, you know this of me, but I love it. I love combos where, like, the guy's kind of stupid and the girl is evil. I mean,
Yeah.
Bella's not evil, but, like, you know, I
Yeah.
love that dynamic.
Yeah. A lot of people
So,
do, and I agree with them.
so yeah, I mean, that's it for this episode of Bust the Asian Beauties. Next week, Hopefully. Let's see. We will be discussing Season 3, Episode 11, Mystery Spot. Leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcast, unless you're frustrated by our very infrequent uploads, in which case, don't leave a rating or review. Only if you love us.
Follow us on social media. We are on Twitter at twitter.com/beautiespodcast and on Tumblr at bustyasianbeautiespod.tumblr.com. Our official tag is BABPOD, BABPod, and thank you to everyone who's donated to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/bustyasianbeautiespod.
You can email us any feedback, comments, or inquiries at bustyasianbeautiespod@gmail.com. See you guys next time. Bye!
Bye!